Hi, I'm Greta Johnson. I'm based out of Long Island, New York, and this video is a representation of my final project for my enrollment in Matthew Kenny's Advanced Raw Cuisine, enrolled September 2014. For this final project, our assignment was to create a recipe from scratch, cost it, and package it to determine an appropriate selling point for it. The recipe that I created is a vegan, raw, hot toddy ice cream. A hot toddy is a hot beverage and traditionally has 5 main components: black tea, honey, lemon, cinnamon, and of course whiskey. There were 3 main considerations that I based my approach off of for this project. The first is that I wanted it to be a capstone. I wanted to challenge myself and work with something that had a lot of different components, using lessons and techniques from the advanced course as well as some of the fundamental lessons that we learned in level 1. And this recipe certainly does both of those things. The second thing I wanted to keep in mind when approaching this project was that I wanted it to be personal and I wanted it to reflect my own culinary style. My sister just moved away cross country, and in the winters I used to visit her and she would make these big batches of hot toddies and we would drink them for hours and just do sister things. So this for me really honors that experience, and a hot toddy is certainly representative of my own culinary style, which I would describe as a little bit over the top and a little whimsical as well. Plus, I think that ice cream for all of us has a little bit of a nostalgic appeal. The last thing I wanted to take into account when approaching this project was what demand would I be filling with this project. I do a lot of eating out on Long Island with my family and friends, and though there are a lot of vegan restaurants in the city, there are less options out on Long Island. Appetizers and entrees, as vegans know, you can pretty much find something to eat in any restaurant, but in an American cuisine restaurant, it's really the dessert that is lacking for a vegan. So I wanted to make something that had enough creativity and be unique enough to stand up to other menu items in a restaurant for a dessert option. So after my initial costing process, I did do a couple of substitutions to bring the cost down. I substituted out a few nuts for less expensive ones. Turns out that making a raw vegan ice cream is an expensive process at this scale. There are a couple of ways that you could bring down the cost, but weren't really appropriate for what we're doing here. But after taking into account Q factor and packaging, the cost for one ice cream container, which is 16 ounces, is $13.19. With a 70% markup, that would come to $21.98 a container. That would be an aggressive price for any kind of ice cream in a supermarket. So I really wanted to stay out of that lane and in the restaurant dessert kind of theme. And there are 4 servings in each container. So if you take $21.98 and take it per serving, the serving cost would be about $5.50 a serving, which is an appropriate cost for or price for a dessert menu or dessert item on a restaurant menu. In terms of the packaging and the labeling itself, I have a small catering business here on Long Island, and I wanted to keep the packaging consistent with the marketing that I've done for that. So I wanted to keep it very clean, very neat, a little artisanal looking. The fun is on the inside, not on the outside. And I did play around with some more aggressive colors and other kinds of labeling, but this product doesn't need to compete with, dozens of other ice cream containers in a supermarket shelf. Like I said, that wasn't the route I was going with here. I'm very pleased with the recipe. Would I do anything different? Probably not to this recipe. It's right where I want it to be in terms of taste, but looking into the future, I probably wouldn't try to create another raw vegan restaurant for raw vegan recipe for ice cream on a mass scale. I might go in a different direction and play with other ideas, crackers, things that would be have more profit to them. The greatest part of this entire experience, and the thing that I'm taking away most from it, is a newfound respect and appreciation for what goes into running a culinary business outside of having a good palate and, you know, just having the creative skill to put together a great menu. There's a lot of work that goes into a culinary business, and for me, that was the biggest lesson that I took out of this. So it was an important lesson to learn as someone who wants a future in food, and a delicious lesson to learn.